find you very rude.
The Novympia channel is made possible by our gorgeous patrons who get access to the most unappealing crap you'll find anywhere on the whole internet. Start the shit show.
Hi guys, it's Nova here. I don't know if this video is going up before or after Olympia's video this week, but oh my god, 2 videos in 1 week. It's a Christmas miracle! Remember back in the day when we used to do 2 videos a week? They were not great though, mind.
Hey Nove.
Hey, Impia.
Okay, so it's like Christmas season, and if you're familiar with our channel, you know how Olympia and I feel about Christmas. It's not our kind of thing. We're much more into Halloween. However, with Christmas does come party season, and that means that like there's a lot of excuses to get glammed up and to go out and just to kind of like feel like you're looking nice, you know? So I thought it'd be fun today to show you guys how I get into a bit of boy glam, a bit of boy makeup. Now, I would say like more so recently I seem to be wearing more and more makeup out of drag, but I'm gonna try and layer this up a little bit so I can give you a couple of different looks and show you like different stages of how much eye makeup I will wear. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I don't want anybody to scream at me, I'm just going to wipe my face with a makeup wipe. If you have a very luxurious cleansing ritual that you can do for your skin, then go ahead and do that, because I know I'm going to get so many comments, oh my god, makeup wipes ruin your skin. It is what it is. It's absolutely fine. If years and years of doing drag hasn't ruined my skin by now, I don't think these makeup wipes are going to make any difference. And these are biodegradable as well, so. I will also keep a makeup wipe just on hand because it's quite handy if I've not cleaned my brushes, which is most of the time. I can just have one on hand to quickly give them a little like swoosh swoosh and wipe off any old makeup. So my skin prep kind of requires like drying in between, so I've got like a fan on hand. I hope that's not horrendous for audio, but I'm just like drying my wet face on the makeup wipe. And then, first thing I'm gonna do is just take a really simple moisturizer. This is fragrance free, it's literally simple. And any parts of my face that are kind of like a bit angry, not having it today, maybe I've just shaved and it's like, I'm going to apply a little bit of moisturiser just to help calm it down. So I've just done my neck here and that's a little bit red. And then under my eyes as well, I like to be nice and moisturised. And I've just shaved my eyebrows and that always likes to scream at me. Now again, I'm going to let that dry before I move on to anything else. Next I'm going to go in with the primer. This is the exact same primer that I use in drag. It's by NYX. It's a hydrating primer because I do tend to get more dry skin. And I don't wear a lot of makeup for my base out of drag. I don't wear like a full face of foundation. If you do that, you go ahead if that's your thing, but that's not really my thing. I tend to just go in with a bit of concealer. So I'm really only going to be putting primer where I know I'm going to be putting concealer. So that is over my nose, my cheekbones and under my eyes, and not too much either. And then kind of like in between the brows, a little bit on the forehead and over the brows. I might put a bit of concealer on my neck here as well, so I'm going to go in with a bit of primer there. And then again, dry that off. If you've seen my drag makeup tutorial, I will link it in the description just in case you haven't. This kind of routine follows very much the same stages. So I'm going to start off doing like my base with a concealer, and then I'm going to go onto my eyebrows and then my eyes. It's just, it makes sense in my head to do in that order. So this is just a simple cover-up stick. I think this is by Collection. I like the sticks, you've got more control over them, they're a bit thicker. And I'm just going to go over my nose. I'm going under my eyes to try and conceal some of those dark circles. I've got a little spot there I'm going to go over. Get rid of some of the redness on my neck. And then let's just go up here a little bit. Like so. And this I'm going to blend out with just my finger. If you tend to suffer from like redness, this would be a good time to use like any colour correcting concealer sticks. Something like green tinted would be really good to kind of cancel out redness. You see how that just helps to even out the complexion a little bit? That's kind of it for my base. I'm not going to do anything else. I will powder towards the end and you'll see when I do that. But next up I'm going to go on to my eyebrows because I have shaved them off. So often I will literally just do this and my eyebrows and call it a day. So that'll be the first stage, which you shall see. But today we're going to move on to an eye look as well. So I use 2 products on my eyebrows. No particular reason really. It's just I was first introduced to this Be Perfect Lock and Load Eyebrow Pomade set. And this is in the shade Charcoal. And it's basically, the top layer is a pressed powder. And then you unscrew it and there is a pomade underneath. I go in first with a Revolution brow pomade. And the only reason for this is that this is a shade lighter and it was more accessible than the Be Perfect. I could get this in a drugstore, this I've got to order online. That's the only reason. Otherwise, really, use the same product in 2 different shades. That's just fine. So I'm opening this up. A really good tip as well, especially in the cold weather. This can sometimes dry out or get a little bit solid. If you just spritz the top with some alcohol spray, just a quick, that will make the top a little bit smushier, which is nice when you're applying on your brows if you want like detailed work. So I'm using a brow brush. This is from this set on Beauty Bay. I can't remember what it is. I'll put it up if I can find it. And it's got like a little spoolie on one end and an angled brush on the other end. I would say tips in regards to shaping your brows if you've completely shaved them off. Work from a reference photo, find a photo of your natural brows and copy those. I can't really give any more guidance other than that. I don't really know what your face is going to look like. I think brows are a very personal thing. I'm basically trying to recreate my natural brow shape and I've done this a few times now and I kind of know how it goes. So this is how I'm going to go. I start generally from the inside and work my way to the outside. And I'm first of all just going to lay down like a basic shape. I'm just going to get a few strokes down. So that's kind of like the shape underneath. And now I'm going to go back over and kind of fill in the top. And towards the outside, I kind of like just doing a couple of shorter strokes. It doesn't look very natural up close, but like from afar, it kind of gives it that tapered, sort of like feathered effect. So I quite like doing that on the outside, just on the tails. And then on the inside, I'm going to do some individual strokes as well, just so it's not like a solid line. So you can see working with the one colour, the more you kind of put in the strokes, it all starts to just smoosh together, which is why I like a darker colour afterwards to bring out a bit of definition. This is fine, I just think you'll see the difference. Okay, I'm going to do the other side off camera and I'll be back in 1 sec. Okay, so now I have eyebrows. They look fine as they are, but I'm now going to go in with that darker colour, the Be Perfect in Charcoal. And again, just a little spritz of the alcohol. And now that the shape is there, I'm just adding a few little lines over the top to give it a bit more depth, and I'm going to follow the kind of stroke of my natural brows, so kind of going outwards and diagonally. Okay, can you see the difference between that one and that one? I'm going to go match them both now. So those are my eyebrows completely done. If I was just going out somewhere that wasn't particularly interesting or fancy, I would literally put on a little bit of powder and some fixing spray and that would be my face done. But next up we're going to put on some eyeliner, and this is kind of like the first stage of eye makeup that I would do if I was going out seeing friends or going out to dinner. I would do a little bit of like smoky black eyeliner. So let's do that. I am using a Jumbo Eye Crayon by NYX. This is just their black, and it's really nice and creamy, and it's very pigmented, but any kind of kohl pencil will do for this. So first of all, I'm going to go in and do my waterline. And I do the top lid as well. I don't know what that's called, it's got a name, but you know, like the waterline on your eyelid. It's got a name, but I do that as well. And with the chunky pencil, it's very easy to do. You just kind of like pop it in, and if you kind of close your eye around it, you can do both at the same time, which is super easy. Now I'm going to do just a little bit underneath. Again, this can be messy because we're going to smudge it out. The same on top, but I'm going to put a little bit more on the outer edge. I used to use my fingers to do this, and I will probably still do that, but I'm going to start off with a brush because it's just less messy. And I find like a finger is good just to diffuse any lines or marks. This is just an eyeshadow brush that I've used before on black. I'm just going to go in here and smudge this out. Now these like jumbo pencils are so creamy, they're kind of tacky. So just something to be aware of if you're used to like a drier formula. A little goes a long way. And again, if it's messy, it doesn't matter. You kind of want it to look like you've been wearing this eye makeup the whole day. So it's kind of like a bit grungy, you know? I'm gonna go into the crease just a little bit there. I don't wear mascara out of drag, so I'm kind of just brushing my eyelashes with this eyeliner because that will coat them and give them some definition. Okay, so this is kind of the stage now where I'll put the brush down and I'll use my middle finger, and I'm just going around the edges now and just buffing it out. So that is a very basic kind of grungy guyliner look. I would leave that just like that and I'd go out like this. What I have been doing recently though, just to give a little something extra to this eye look, is I'm using the Scepter palette by the Vivienne and Be Perfect, and there is a really nice highlight colour in here called Blinding, and if I'm just taking like my ring finger here and swirling it around, just smush some of that here. How great does that look? It just gives it a bit more zhuzh, and it really opens up your eyes as well. I think it makes my eyes look so much bigger. Okay, now we're going to go into a kind of more extravagant eye look. I say extravagant, it's all still very smushy, smoky, grungy goodness. I'm using the same palette, the Scepter palette, and I'm going to put in some reds, I think. Let's go with some reds. I'm a huge Maneskin fan, and I really like how Damiano David, the lead singer, has been doing his eye makeup recently, and this is kind of a little bit inspired by that. So I'm going to go in with Boss Lady from the Vivienne palette, and I'm just taking some on a really fluffy brush here, move my hair out of the way, and I'm just going to go over like the entire lid and start to blend it up into the brow. I'm going to do a little bit underneath as well. And it doesn't matter if this kind of takes away the intensity of the black, because you're going to kind of smush it all together with a brush. We're going to go over with some black eyeshadow afterwards, which will give that depth back to it. Okay, now with the brush that we used to smudge up the eyeliner, I'm going to go in with Abyss, which is just a matte black. I'm just going to go over some of that just to bring some of that depth back again. And be careful not to make a mess of black eyeshadow on your face, it's the worst. I'm just stamping it along my lashes, giving it like a bit of depth on the outer side here, and then going into the crease a little bit. And then using the brush that we put the red on, just blending that out. So that is what that looks like. And the last thing for the eyes, because I wouldn't normally put the inner highlight on if I was going to go straight to this look. I just did that today to show you like the different levels of intensity we could do. So now would be the time that I would do the highlights. I'm just going to go over that again in case it's been covered up a little bit. And then in the Vivien's palette, there is a lovely shimmer colour called Naive here. And it's like a reddy, coppery colour. And I'm going to take my middle finger, I'm going to wipe it into that. And can you see, the lighting's probably crappy, I have to see it on my eyes. But it's a burgundy colour with like a copper sheen to it. So I'm taking that and I'm just going to wipe it in the middle of each lid. Like stamping it on. And I'm not going any higher than the crease, I'm just keeping it on my natural lid there. I love that colour, it's so cool, and I don't really use shimmers in drag either because I feel like it brings up just unwanted texture. I think it photographs weird, but I really like it for boy makeup. Okay, so now that the eyes are basically done, I'm just gonna make sure, because I have like really baggy under eyes and sometimes I can get lines from shadows if I'm taking too long. So I'm just making sure that everything here is kind of like blended out. I've not got any creases anywhere. I will have creases eventually anyway, just because of how my face moves. So now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of powder. I'm just using some setting powder by Kimchi here. You don't want too much, but I'm gonna set all of the concealer that I did beforehand. And that was on my neck as well. And I'm gonna go over my brows to really set my brows in. You want kind of enough powder on the powder puff so you don't end up taking the brow off, but you want to press light enough as well so you're not like messing up your work. And I'm going to go on the forehead as well, just to take away some of that shine. And this is going to look a bit crazy, and that is fine. Brush it all away. Now what the powder will do to your brows is kind of like lift them a bit, and if you're still struggling with kind of colour matching, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I want to bring that depth back, that contrast back. So I'm going in with a NYX matte finishing spray, and I'm going to spritz it all over my face, and that will return the colour of the brows back to what they were before the powder. And dry. Okay, so that is my makeup done. I'm now going to just sort out my hair. I like to kind of keep the natural curl here, so I'm just going to be using a texturizing matte spray from Schwarzkopf. This is part of their Got to Be collection, which you guys will absolutely recognise because every drag queen has used some of this before. And I'm just spritzing that through my hair and I'm going to scrunch it up. Super easy, super quick. I'm going to put on some jewellery and I will wrap this up. So here is the final result. This is probably the most makeup I will wear out of drag. But hopefully this has been useful to you guys. I feel like this is quite a adaptive makeup look regardless of gender, and especially if you're somebody who's new to makeup or just wants to experiment. I feel like I've given you guys a few different levels of makeup as to where your confidence lies. I mean, for a long time I would just wear the eyeliner, and then I kind of built on top of that, and now I'll quite often wear these shimmers as well, which I absolutely love. I wish I had the confidence to delve into more colour and shimmers out of drag a lot sooner than I did. So now I'm off to go absolutely nowhere, but we are going to film the latest episode of Novympia's Arsehole Race Season 3, which is exclusive to Patreon. So if you would like to watch that, please check out the link below to become a patron. We would appreciate it so much. If you're new to the channel and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We put out videos every single week, but this week, like I said, I don't know what's happened, but you've got 2, and I love you guys so much. We'll see you soon.
And a warm shout out to our newest patrons: JJ Keybum, Amy Rose Napier, Interstellar, Clive Life 49, Jen, Joe Morgan, Mariah, Liam McKellany, Big Booty Seth, Spencer Hamilton, Starlos, Yasmin Jaffrey, The Swamp Mac, Jake Marchant, and James.
Join the Patron, we'll do a shot of Patron.